Welcome to our show, Diaspora Life Show. This show airs live on standard digital platforms. This week, we discuss another very sensitive topic under our theme, the Kenyan family abroad. And today we are talking about the rising cases of suicides among the Kenyan community abroad. Welcome.
There's so much stigma in mental health. Where I was born and raised, which I believe all of you, people with mental health have been bewitched by a neighbor, an aunt, an uncle, which is not true. It is a neurological problem which can be passed from DNA to DNA, or substance abuse, or stress, depending on where it's coming from. A lot of people are having the sickness, but behind the curtains. Because if they come to tell you, even if you are saying something that was meaningful, oh, wachana na huyu mwendazimu. Na nini alikuwa anasema? Huyu kijana ya fulani mwendazimu. We try to push them away until they can't even open to us what is wrong with them, what's going on with them.
Repeat what I had said earlier in church about what, and the reason why Diaspora Messenger teamed up with the churches across America and the UK, bishops, evangelists, doctors, and many people to organize a day of prayer. It came about because of the need to address the issue of many Kenyans dying on a large scale. It is unusual, it is not natural. Kenyans in diaspora are not so many to warrant the kind of deaths that we have witnessed in the last several years. It has been that every day there is a reported death, and it's not the natural death. I mean, if a case where somebody was knocked down by a car or fell and that kind of a thing, but it's a case where people are found in their apartments dead. They're found in their rooms dead. And it's happening. I mean, that's all you hear. But you know that there's something wrong. You don't just sleep and then you just die. Even if that can happen for one person, when it is repeated, then there is a problem. And as a man of God, we felt that the only way to be able to, tackle that, the only solution is to come together and pray.
How many people came here as international students, like me? If there was stress, we would be mad, because you have 3 jobs, you're international students, if you don't go to school, Homeland Security is following you. Someone at home in Kenya thinks someone is in America, they need money, they think there's just trees where there's money. You're struggling to pay your tuition, you have so much stress. A lot of students go through a lot of stress from Kenya. And I'm glad, Roy, you mentioned about those loans. Because when you come from Kenya, most of the time they do harambe for you to pay your first tuition. You come to America. Welcome to America. You know how it is. You struggle with education. Some people get stressed. They get mental health. They get suicidal because they don't have what we call family support. Someone to tell you, hang on into that. This is how you need to handle.
Oh my God. Personally, I can relate to this issue because I know people that have lost their lives. I know people that are going through, mental health. So number one, I think we have a lot of unmet mental health issues in our community. And as we all know, mental health is a silent symptom. We don't talk about it. And it's a high time we need to start to give more education and also spread the awareness of mental health. And a lot of our youths, especially when they come here in America, It's not like home. I remember the first time I left my father's house was when I went to get married. We live with our parents until later on when we are older enough to be responsible. Here in America, it forces our young kids to start thinking of living on their own at a younger age. And it's a struggle because they have to work, they have to go to school. Parents cannot afford school in America. I went to school here. It's not cheap. It's very expensive. And the kids want to fit with the society of America. It's not an easy thing. So we are losing a lot of our kids because they cannot deal with the challenges that are in front of them. So instead, they are going into substance abuse. Why am I saying substance abuse? We are having a lot of our kids using drugs. And before, when I was growing up, I knew only about marijuana. Now, when I came here, I realized there were things like cocaine, there is meth, and some of our kids are using this. And this is really, really a problem in our community. And not even to forget alcohol. We have a lot of kids who are going through this. We are losing our children because of these unmet mental health problems.
I always say, if you want a green card, great. If you came as an F1 student, great. If you came in as a visitor and then changed to F1 student, great. But have a clear-cut mission. If you're coming to school, that's the mission. Complete that mission. If you want a green card and all you're interested in is work, then that's the focus. Get a good job, move to other states if you have to get a good employment, and you also in between try and increase your skills. So if you stick to the mission, then things will work out. Fifthly, let's call a spade a spade. Some young boys, the ladies really, will do the wrong thing, get into relationships, and out of those relationships, a baby might pop up that you hadn't planned for. And there's something called child support that Kenyans are still not used to. But that child support can be a hindrance to your success, because if the court decides and says you must pay $500 a month, that's $500 you will pay. Even if you move to another state, all they need is your social security number. It shows up after a couple of months. You're working at Walmart or wherever, and they will deduct the money automatically. In some states, if you don't pay your child support, you cannot get a student loan, you cannot get credit, you cannot buy a house, and in some states you will be arrested and jailed for a few months until you get back, or as some type of punishment. So that and some other issues, for example, of economic hardship that come as a result of all this combination of events, bad relationships. One thing leads to another, and at some point we've seen some cases of I'll call it maniac depression that can borderline on insanity. You probably gotten calls while you're in Kenya and been told so and so went nuts. That's really what has happened. It piled up to the extent, and guess what? They cannot go back home because they're too embarrassed that they've got nothing to show for. So, they're economic hostages abroad. They have no legal status. They're wanted for whatever reason. They're borderline depression, and there's no other definition of going crazy at that point.
Basic research has shown that majority of Kenyans living abroad who resort to suicides after succumbing to life's stresses are those who tend to keep to themselves with very little interaction with the rest of the Kenyan community.
Let's work on helping our people recognize that they can get help. In Kenya, we have a mental health problem. Our mental health people are found on the roads. There's no medication. And I'm hoping this can improve with our presidential candidate to be. we'll have to table us some of the things that you will make mental health to be utilized in Kenya so that our people can get help. Everybody, people we work with in this United States, they have mental health, but they take like 15 pills, 20 pills. If they don't take those pills and they come to work, you not believe it's the same person you work with.
Let's talk about practical reasons. In your view, what are the causes of this, what we are calling premature deaths? Practical causes.
Having lived here for a number of years and gone through the system and interacted with Kenyans and know the many things that they have to go through, there are very many reasons that that causes one to either give up or cause the kind of stress that will bring their natural death. This to me will just be speculation. But what I can say and what I can be able to tell the people in Kenya is that this country is hard. And these are the kind of information that people in Kenya don't really know, or many of us who go back to Kenya probably don't tell it as it is. There is a notion back there that America is a land flowing with milk and honey. And for those who are in Kenya, they want to come to this land with flowing with milk and honey so that they can be able to, just tap their milk. There is a feeling, and there is, again, and this is a perception that we have, that people back home just think that, when you come over here, you can either just go and pluck some dollars from a tree, which is not the case. For one to be able to survive over here, you have to go through a lot, you have to do a lot. And for those people who probably had a certain profession back home, you come here, it's like beginning all over again, because you have to fit in with the kind of thing that you have to do to be able to earn a living and to be able to, to survive. And so what I can say is the number one thing for me that I think that causes the kind of a natural death is just stress. There is too much stress in this country.
These people lack comparative experience from those who could be going through the same thing. And that is why experts and community leaders have been encouraging Kenyans living abroad to identify with or belong to some sort of group, be it religious or social, so that when something goes wrong with one's life, then they could seek support from these group members. You're a man of family, and like you said, you've been here. You counsel families, you hear those cases. What is the state of the Kenyan family in America?
That's a very good question. The state of the Kenyan family here is very wanting. It is not what many people, especially those who came from Kenya with a family, would have hoped, because the situation, the atmosphere is not conducive for a family. Let me say, if you have to do the triples and the doubles, and for a case of a family of a man and a wife, and they have either 2 or 3 children, and the father and the mother have to do the triple, sometimes the schedules are that the husband may be working at night, the wife is working during the day, and they don't meet, or they are not together as they should, so that they can be able to be together as a family and give whatever that they need to give for a family. So that sometimes get in a way where, because of lack of interaction, it goes to a point where maybe there is no intimacy, and we have seen families breaking here in the US. People who came together from Kenya And after some time over here, then because of the kind of job that you're doing and the stress and everything, you find that the family is break. So the atmosphere and the environment in the US is not very conducive for a family.
It is also the reason why some civic groups and individuals within the Kenyan community have come up with innovative programs and projects that are aimed at dealing with stress-related issues. In our next installments, we explore some of these initiatives. That is our show this week. Remember to keep this conversation going online, and also remember you can talk to us through our email address, which is diasporalifeshow@standardmedia.co.ke. And also you can watch past episodes if you go to Standard Digital website and scroll down to Daily Motion. See you again next week.